there, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing well. And yeah, welcome to the horror show, what I like to call Diddy's trial. This is week 3, part 3 of the review of testimony that took place. Some antics inside and outside of the courthouse as well took place this week in some key moments. And so we're covering them all today. We've got 5 parts that are going to be dropping today, as I've shared in the first 2 as well. Meaning that, as a reference, I have 2 others, part 1 and 2, that have already dropped. So if you have not had an opportunity to take a watch at those, make sure you do take a peek at those videos, so that way you get the information that was taking place for those updates that are detailed in those videos. Okay. Now this video here, we are going to be getting into quite a bit of testimony confirmation and information that was just shared throughout maybe a multiple day period of time. And so definitely want you to, share your thoughts down below, of course. So with that, of course, as I said earlier, what trial or part of the trial has been identified where, 50 Cent somehow has not got his way warmed into conversation. And so this week was, no different. So we're going to go ahead and touch base about a little bit in regards to the beef and how it was reportedly started between Diddy and 50 Cent, because 50 has a hankering for Diddy and he does not let up. So, and this has been no different during this time frame during his trial that is so much known across the world. Honestly, the trial of the century. There's also a lot of focus and attention pertaining to Michael B. Jordon and Cassie's relationship as well. And so we're going to dive into a little bit more testimony information that was shared in regards to that as well. Not only that, we're going to be, going in a little bit more into Capricorn Clark's testimony, as well as Amia, the assistant, as well. We're going to be talking some more about that, and Deontay Nash, the fabulous stylist that is Deontay Nash. So we're going to be covering it all in this part here as well, and just more information, more details, more clarification of these certain areas. So let's go ahead and just get on into it. Like I said, there'll be multiple parts here within this sharing, so definitely sit back, relax, and be ready to go ahead and share your thoughts, especially down in the comment section below. So the first part of that sharing is we're going to get into about 50 Cent and that beef with Diddy, where it came from, and some other details associated with that as well. So that particular part of the sharing is going to be given to us by way of, well, none other than CNN.com. Yeah, and I'm having a love-hate relationship with them right now. So let's get into it, okay? It says 50 Cent makes light of being mentioned during Sean Combs' trial, and here's the history of the beef between them. Because, sometimes we have to have a recap and trying to figure out where did all this start from anyways, right? So it says that according to, they have an editor's note here, that a previous version of the story was actually published in May of 2024. So you may have been able to, tuned in on at that time frame for some of the details to be shared in this sharing as well. So let's go ahead and get into it. Now they say 50 Cent is not letting up on Sean Diddy Combs. The rapper, actor, producer who was long trolled Combs on social media has not lowered the temperature of his words in the wake of Combs' federal racketeering and sex trafficking trial. On Tuesday, the hip-hop mogul's names were once again intertwined when Capricorn Clark, a former assistant to Combs, reportedly testified that he had confronted 50 Cent's then manager, Chris Lighty, about their feud in an elevator after a press event. I don't like all the back and forth, Combs told Lightly, according to Clark's testimony. I like, pow-pows. Now, later on Tuesday, 50 Cent took to social media to mock Combs' alleged statement. Cut. Wait a minute. Puffy's got a pow-pow? I can't believe this. I don't feel safe. Laughing out loud. Now, 50 Cent wrote in the caption on his photos he posted, which included tweets that outlined Clark's testimony. Later, he posted another photo with the caption, "Oh my goodness, itty bitty Diddy wants me unalive? I have to lay low. I think I'm going to hide out at the playoff game tonight," laughing out loud. Now, CNN has reached out to representatives for 50 Cent for additional comment, and Combs has pleaded not guilty to charges of racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking and transportation to engage in, activities that typically may happen in the night, at this point, probably all day long, for days on end, that are illegal, usually don't have any clothes on, and, it starts with the P. 50 Cent has long been a vocal critic of Combs, including after CNN's publication of surveillance video that showed Combs physically assaulting his then girlfriend, Cassie in 2016. The video seen all around the world. CNN knew what they were doing when they played that on a Sunday evening too, by the way. Now, in September 2024, 50 Cent announced he was working on a docuseries, which I just got through talking to my husband about that and was wondering, like, whatever happened with that? Let's play that he was working on for Netflix about Combs that would include disturbing allegations. Now, CNN has reached out to representatives of 50 Cent and Netflix for comment at the time. Here's a look back at how there came to be animosity between the two men. Well, it all starts where most of these things start, with a diss track. Now, in 2006, apparently 50 Cent released a diss track titled The Bomb, which featured sounds of, well, pow pow fire, and his allegation that Combs knew the identity of the unaliver of Christopher Wallace, the rapper known as Notorious B.I.G. May he continue to rest in peace. Now, Wallace who was both a protege of and best friends with Combs, was, as we all know, unalived by Pow Pow down in Los Angeles in March of 1997, as he and his crew, which included Combs, were traveling in a caravan. Now, Combs was in a different vehicle from the one Wallace was in at the time. Wallace was Pow Pow. No one has ever been charged with the unaliving. Now, in his diss track, 50 Cent raps, "I guess this means I won't be invited to the white parties in the Hamptons," referencing Combs' famous soirees held in the upscale New York community, which is partly why he's in the place he's in right now. Now, 50 Cent has also said he believes Combs is connected to the 1996 unaliving of rapper Tupac Shakur. Now, Combs called such allegations nonsense. And in a 2016 interview with the syndicated radio show The Breakfast Club, he has never been charged in connection to either case. Now, consistent trolling, that is 50, right? The followers of 50 Cent are familiar with his reputation for sharp comments and social media trolling. The rapper turned television producer has made Combs a frequent target, attacking everything from his music to his age. Some believed it was mostly marketing, especially given the men's parallel career tracks and even competing vodkas at one point. Now, but 50 upped his comments after Combs was sued in November 2023 by Cassie, who in a now settled civil complaint alleged that Combs armed her in 2018 and ABUSE'd her over the more than decade they were in an off and on relationship. And of course, Combs denies the allegations. After federal investigators searched Combs' homes in Miami and Los Angeles in March of 2024, 50 Cent posted on X, "Now it's not Diddy do it, it's Diddy done. They don't come like that unless they got a case." Now, of course, Diddy denies there's a beef. Combs was asked about the tension between him and 50 Cent during an appearance on The Breakfast Club in 2018. If you have solved that, let me know. He says, "I don't have no beef with Fifth. He loves me," Combs said. I think Combs thinks everybody loves him. Y'all can't see that? He loves me? You really think that's hate? You know he loves me. He added that he didn't take the things 50 Cent says about him seriously. "When he does that, it's like funny to me," Combs said at the time. "I don't really take it personal. I know he has a different sense of humor and he's just not in my life. We don't have to never cross paths, and I will never say nothing negative about him, because that's just not me." A son's defense? Remember this? Christian Combs, who goes by King Combs, is the 26-year-old son of Diddy in May 2024. He apparently released a song titled "Pick a Side" in support of his father and taking aim at critics like, 50 Cent. The younger Combs and his brother Justin were temporarily handcuffed and detained by authorities during the March 2024 search on their father's home. Neither was arrested or charged. And if you saw the actual rape take place, it was all over the place. Celeb by CNN, where I saw it. We saw just that scene, along with some others as well. Now, Aaron Dyer, Diddy's attorney, said in statements of CNN at the time that there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residence. There is no specific excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. King Combs appeared to profess his father's innocent in his track and took a swipe at 50 Cent. All that gossip stuff is whack. And they all had was 50 Cent. Put this city on the map. Stop lying, the younger Combs raps. 50 Cent responded with a tongue-in-cheek post on social media. "I feel so threatened by the things Christian is saying on his record." He's so stupid. He wrote in a since-deleted post on Instagram, according to Billboard, "I'm afraid for my life. Please don't hurt me, guys." Oh, yeah, 50 Cent is something else. Anyways, so there you have it for that part. So now we're going to be moving on to, well, USA Today, and they're going to get into a little bit more information in regards to what has been made to do about Michael B. Jordan and the relationship that he had with Cassie. Be it all very brief, I believe it was. And then maybe a lot of reason why we're hearing so much focus on it too. Michael B. Jordan is really doing well in the box office here with the Sinners. And so, he's out there already. Why not just add more? I'm pretty sure he wishes that he was not even connected to the situation, but here we are, right? All thanks to fame. So let's go ahead and get into this. Now, apparently Cassie and Michael B. Jordan relationship takes center stage in Diddy's trial. And yeah, so we'll just have to see just how much more center stage has come. But it has been talked about quite a bit. It says, as the trial of Sean Diddy Combs stretches into its conclusion, which will begin tomorrow, the web of high-profile celebrities name-dropped from the witness stand grew. Now, Deontay Nash, Cassandra, Cassie Ventura Fine's longtime stylist, took the stand again on Thursday, May 29th, to chronicle his friendship with both Ventura Fine and Combs and to testify to any abuse he had witnessed. Now, during cross-examination, Combs' attorney Xavier Donaldson asked Nash about being at the Revolt conference in Miami in 2015 to style Lil' Kim while Ventura Fine was shooting a movie in South Africa. Unprompted, Nash jumped in, saying, "Yes, I did hook her up with Michael B. Jordan. I know where you're going with this." Smiling, he clarified that Ventura Fine was somewhat pursuing Jordan and that they were dating, talking, and getting to know each other. Now, Mia, an ex-assistant of Combs going by a pseudonym, who also began testifying Thursday, helped with the setup, Nash said. Now, when defense lawyers began painting the setup as a consolation prize after Ventura Fine had discovered Combs was out with another woman, Nash had pushed back. That's not what happened, he told the court, according to ABC. The courtroom moment falls into a pattern as Ventura Fine's relationships with other men come under a microscope. Both prosecutors and defense appear interested in discussing her romantic involvements outside of Combs, whom she dated on and off for 10 years. She and others have testified to jealousy and violence on the part of Combs when he felt Ventura Fine was seeing other men. Now, Jordan's name appeared on a list of other celebrities shown to potential jurors before opening arguments aimed at filtering out those who might have strong opinions on any of the A-listers mentioned. Also included on the list was, Kid Cudi, who Ventura Fine also dated, and who has testified that he believes Combs broke into his house and set his car aflame as a result of the relationship. Now, earlier in the trial, Ventura Fine, who is a key witness for the prosecution, had touched on her connection to Jordan, revealing that Combs had suspected she was in a relationship with the actor after the pair broke up in 2015. Now, at the time of their split, she was filming Honey's 3 Dare to Dance in South Africa. Asked about Combs' reaction to an alleged relationship with Jordan, Ventura Fine said she wasn't there to see it, according to NBC News, but added that he had attempted to get in contact with her. Now, Carrie Morgan testifies about Diddy and Michael B. Jordan Cassie, and if you had caught up on week 2, you would know Carrie Morgan is a former friend of Cassie, who also had her own allegations of abuse claims against Diddy, and also shared in corroboration to some of the things that Cassie had shared in some of their instances they had dealt with together during their time. During cross-examination early this month, Carrie Morgan, a former friend of Ventura's, was asked by defense attorney Mark Aguilera whether Combs was jealous of Jordan. Morgan had said Ventura Fine began talking to Jordan shortly before a 2-month trip to South Africa. They were not together, and Combs was jealous, Morgan explained. She was trying to leave him. Now, stylist Deontay Nash talks Cassie's relationship with athletes. Defense lawyers borrowing in on Ventura Fine's romantic history asked Nash about her relationship with former NFL linebacker Andre Grant. "Oh, the cute football player," he said, seemingly confirming the attachment. He was then asked whether Ventura Fine had dated another professional athlete named Brandon, to which he responded that he did not have details to share. So, yeah, it seemed like it was a real colorful time to be had with Nash on the stand. It sounded like he didn't seem to be too bothered about what was even really going on. Because at this point, when you think about all of the things that have been alleged and some of the things they must have seen over the years, it's probably not too much a surprise as them. They're probably not too concerned about a lot of things other than just their safety on and off the stand at this point. But, he seemed to be really, forthcoming with information. Didn't seem to be too bothered with letting them know what they needed to know, as well as correcting them or leading them wherever he thought they needed to be led to, so they can kind of get to the point, kind of thing, right? Sometimes you got to be careful how clever you want to come across, but we'll see how that all pans out as the time goes on. And of course, 50 Cent and the beef that doesn't seem to be one that's acknowledged so much from one side, and it seems to be really carried on from the other side. But as we all know, 50 Cent is one of the master trollers of social media. He has been doing it for quite some time. It's been a lot of funny gifts back and forth in regards to 50 Cent and the things that he likes to share. And he definitely likes to make his opinion known. So therefore, we sit here and just sit back and enjoy the ride. But it doesn't seem like, Diddy was much, none too worried about the situation one way or another. Of course, everybody's from the, maybe not exactly the same location, but on the same side of things. And so, maybe some things are giving grace to people for certain things that are said. And, who knows what the thing is. Maybe at that time, Diddy was just feeling all about being more in a calm Zen space at this point. I don't know if he was calling himself Love at that time, but it's kind of ironic that now that he had changed his, moniker now to another name, being Love, and then all this stuff kind of just blew up in his face. So yeah, there you have it. And then of course, Michael B. Jordan's name has really been dropped quite a bit, of course. There was some other witnesses, but definitely him because of the connection to Cassie and the potential of what could have maybe been a budding relationship. Don't know if that would have lasted long term or not, but it doesn't seem like too many relationships lasted around Diddy anyways. As long as he wanted to make sure that he was still in his orbit. This is what it appears, all things alleged there, of course. So with that, I think I'm going to bid you to wrap up this part here. Like I said, we're rolling through them. So yeah, there's so much information that did take place, but for the most part, it does seem like it was a little bit of a quieter week, barring the jarring, testimony that I have shared here as far as those highlights and information, and that was provided and presented by Mia, the assistant, and Capricorn Clark as well, really talking a lot about the election abuse and whatnot. It seemed like with Deontay Nash, they really wanted to focus a lot on the relationships and stuff like that. And, of course, the defense wants a certain narrative in regards to Cassie in particular, and then Cassie and Diddy as a relationship at this point. So, we'll just see how effective that is with the jurors and how that will play out later on as time continues on. And so I'm going to go ahead again and review on this video. Definitely make sure that you leave your all notification bells on so you're not missing these parts and these updates for each week that I like to give and share. It's kind of a high level area to kind of let you know what's going on. So that way you're at least abreast and aware as the weeks go on if you don't have the opportunity necessarily to, watch day by day go by love. And also too, as a reminder, I have part 1 and part 2 already up on the platform. They are short videos as well, so you have enough time to kind of get those in if you haven't had an opportunity to do that, and just continue with the flow for the next video, which will be popping up in a couple of hours. So, of course, if you are new here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Yes, because I would love to have you. I'd love to have you be part of the family. So I appreciate it so much, of course. And for all of you that are continuing to already part of the family, I thank you so much for continuing viewing and listening. And so with that, I'm going to bid you adieu, but I will be back here in a couple hours or so. So make sure you come back here and tune in too. Definitely leave your thoughts down below about what you're thinking about the case, what you're thinking about things that have been shared in the part. And how you're feeling either way. If you think that things are being proven, considering the racketeering part of things, which is a really huge contention for a lot of people, maybe not understanding or seeing the dots connecting. Or just, maybe doesn't want to see the dots connected in some cases, right? But everybody, has got their own opinions, their own thoughts about the situation. It's definitely a mixed bag for sure. And so it'll be interesting to see how that all does definitely shape up. But yeah, with that, I'd love to know if you think that certain things have been definitely proven thus far. But if of course, this is like a storytelling. It's a peeling back of the onion. More information, more witnessing. You got to set the tone of things. You got to set the story of things. And, of course, this seems to be a little bit of a lighter week in that, even though the testimony was kind of devastating. As of last week, there was a lot of ramping up of several witnesses that came through, a lot of, kind of just fire cracking going on some of those witness times. This one seemed a little bit more spread out for witnesses, more or less like maybe like number 1 or week 1 rather. But of course, week 1 was quite groundbreaking because it was the first, it was the beginning, and Cassie was going to come on there. And I think everybody was anticipating her testimony as well. And although I think very pertinent with the information, very much it felt like a lot of just determining whether or not, certain things that were said in previous testimonies corroborated, with these individuals who had maybe more firsthand knowledge of situations that took place. So I think that they really, probably both sides got what they needed to get for the week for that, matter. And yeah, we just continue on into, what will be week 4 starting tomorrow, and see what kind of witnesses and testimony comes from that. So with that, again, I'm going to be due for this one. Now this is part 3, so we've got part 4 coming up, and I definitely would love to know your thoughts with that. So again, make sure you have the long notification bells on so you don't miss it, and I'll see you here in I guess a couple hours. All right, see you then. Bye.